All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Gameplan Book Club Day, and today is Monday, May 15th. I know this date because tomorrow is my daughter's birthday. So we are one day away. I did something new today. I actually ordered flowers to be delivered to the Dunfield House in Herefordshire, Wales, which is a new experience. I actually had to call my credit card company because apparently credit cards in Wales have both an issue date and an expiration date. And we don't do that here. We only care about when they expire. So I actually had to call the credit card company to say, when was this card issued, so that I could actually place that order. So that was a fun new experience. I hope that they will find her. So today we are getting ever so close to the end of our game plan. And my hope is that as we've been going along, that you have actually been putting a lot of these ideas into practice. Every chapter that I reread, because I've read it all probably a couple of times. I've certainly listened to her audiobook a number of times. But every time I do it, I get more and more excited about everything that is to come on our team, and for each of you personally. But just the momentum that is building, it makes me super excited. So I have in front of me both the book and the workbook, and we're going to kind of go through these simultaneously. Let me turn my phone off so that I don't get any more notifications, because that drives me crazy. Okay, so chapter 21 is all about attracting and motivating leaders. This has been a topic in lots and lots of my coaching sessions that I have done recently with folks. When we get to a point where we start building the business, at the beginning, it is very easy to do everything in your own strength. It's easy to know who's on your team and to do the care calls and to send the little gifts, or to send the rank up recognition gifts, or that sort of thing. But mark my word, there comes a time when there is just too much for one person to handle. And that's a good problem to have. But what needs to be happening simultaneously is that you need to be grooming those leaders on your team so that they know what to do. And that's how you gain the ability to multiply your efforts. It's kind of like you can be in 4 places at once because you have groomed and trained up some leaders. So this is a very important chapter to me, just because I believe whatever we do duplicates. And so in the beginning, it is really important that you set the kind of example in terms of leadership that you want to have duplicated on your team, because this is, as I say, it's a monkey see, monkey do kind of a business. And whatever your team sees you doing, that is likely what they will do, for better and for worse. It's kind of like toddlers, starting to talk, and they start repeating everything that they hear you say. This can be both wonderful and horrifying at the same time, because you suddenly become very cognizant of what you're doing. So Sarah Harnish nails it right in the first paragraph when she says, how you lead will have the most impact. And I think that that's very true. So think about the culture that you're setting. Is it one of positivity? The words that you speak out over both yourself, your team, your business, that kind of thing, are they affirming and life-giving? Or are they sarcastic? Are they detrimental? That kind of thing. So just do a check over what kinds of things you are speaking out over your team. Sarah in her book, as you know, she has developed a lot of resources that she uses for follow-up. And I don't know how many of you have tapped into all of that is available. If you haven't, I would encourage you to do a couple of things. First of all, go to the Oil Ability Team website and check out what is available, because she has things like her 101 class that's on a DVD, and some of you may raise your hand if you have burned some of those off for duplication. Okay, awesome. Some of you have done that. It's a wonderful resource that is available at our fingertips. She also has the Why Do Young Living as a Business DVD. So all of these are perfect, and they're available to you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. If you love to do videos and you would like to have it be something that is personal to you, from you, by all means, go ahead and record something yourself if you want to. But if that overwhelms you in the beginning, don't worry about it. You can use hers. And it's just a matter of downloading and burning some of those off. I think that now actually you can order them directly from her. I think I saw Steve Sheridan was packing some of those boxes. So I'm going to get online probably right after we do this book club, because I'm out of books now. We have been distributing them often. So hopefully each of you have a couple of extras in your stash, because as new members take an interest in the business, we want to make sure that we have those to distribute. But lots of follow-up is happening with Sarah, both to make sure that people understand how to use the products, but also that there is a business opportunity. So that is the key, to always be planting those seeds about what is available. She says here that because she sends that DVD on how to get oils for free, she has a lot of people who know very little about the oils who have already started sharing because they were drawn to the business side of things. So do not underestimate someone's interest level to get involved with the business. They don't have to understand the entire desk reference. And I think that's a hurdle. Hi, Jim. That's a hurdle that they have to kind of get past, or that we have to get past, to think that we have to educate them on everything about monoterpenes and sesquiterpenes before we can ever teach them that they will earn some money if they enroll people. So just know that that is available. Let's see. Okay, Amy, duly noted. I'll probably throw a post out there if someone, just for everybody kind of in our local area wants to do that. Let me make a note here. Okay, perfect. So how do you find leaders? Every single one of you on this call that I see have awesome people on your team, and some of them are product users. Some of them have enrolled a few people. Some of you guys have folks that have enrolled a lot of people, and some of you have people who ordered a kit and they haven't done anything since. So usually our people fall into one of those three categories. So here's where you can find leaders. Look for people who have a natural inclination towards wanting something more out of life. So Sarah suggests looking for people that are frustrated with their jobs, people who do not make enough money to meet their needs, people who have no retirement plan, or they haven't saved anything, or maybe not enough to get by. Any and all of those people are prime candidates to be effective leaders on our team. In the back of our book, so in your regular game plan book, if you go to the back of it and look at Appendix J, which in my book, that's page 241, there is a wonderful kind of a mini script that is the teacher training, how to launch a Young Living leader. And this is the most beautiful, extreme condensed version about leading your people through the business. Okay, so she talks first about why do a Young Living business, how you get started, and it's definitely the Cliff Notes version. So if they don't have time and want to read the whole book, if you're just sitting down and you want to go through, boom, 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 this is what you need to do, then these few pages are the best. They talk about how to fill classes, tips for class day, follow-up, biggest mistakes, commission check, finding your niche, all those kinds of things are in that section. So if you practice that, get really, really good at sharing the information in those, 6 or 7 pages, then when you sit down with someone, probably a new member or a current product user, you can go through those things very quickly. 20 minutes, you can touch on each of those topics, and you gauge their interest level, and you'll know if that is a prime candidate to be one of your future leaders, okay? So one of the biggest things that our job to do is to cast the vision of what could be. So none of us are going to work extra hard on any project for any reason if we don't think that there will be a payoff, okay? We're all just selfish enough to know that there's got to be something in it for us, right? There's got to be a reason for the work. So our job is to help people see and to help people believe what is on the horizon even before it feels tangible to them. Do not judge people from the outside. Do not predetermine their future. This is really, really important because, folks, if I had a prototype of the typical leader, I can just assure you it would have been broken 100 times in the people that I have seen rise up and be leaders. Anybody can do this. Male or female, young or old, healthy, unhealthy. It doesn't matter. What matters is up here when people make a decision that they're going to commit to it and they're going to stick with it, okay? That's what matters the most. So it's our job to set the table and it's their job to come and eat. And as long as we don't decide who we're inviting to the dinner party, let them decide. We invite everybody to come and we just set it out, okay? Sarah talks about the fact that if her upline had prejudged her, she was a radio host talking to 4 million people every morning or something like that, and, seemingly on the outside looked very successful. And her upline probably would have never considered that she would leave that prestigious job to sell Young Living. But the truth is, Sarah says it seemed wiser to have time economy and be at home with her children than to be so depleted from her morning hour radio shift. And so we don't know what people are the most hungry for. You might think that a doctor is just flying high and living, this life of luxury, when in fact they may be the most stressed out, most, frazzled. They could be deeper than deep in debt because med school is incredibly taxing. And so we just have to get really good at continually putting out that opportunity and not predetermining who gets it. You're going to need 2 leaders for the first couple of ranks. So remember, in previous chapters, we talked about the fact that you should always be planning 2 ranks ahead of where you are. So if you're at senior star, the next rank would be executive. The next one after that is silver. So at silver, you need 2 legs, okay? So you should really, from the time you help people begin to the time you are executive, just be focusing on those 2 legs. When you hit executive, we're going to skip silver and we're going to start focusing on gold, which requires 3 legs. So in the beginning, we're looking to partner with 2 strong leaders, 2 people that would be blessed by an income and that would be blessed by the oils that are committed to some leadership responsibilities. It doesn't come without work. I think everybody on here recognizes that. But I also will say this is not like brain surgery, ditch digging, back breaking kind of work, okay? This is people work. So it's the kind that, you know, with a computer and a telephone and a car, we can pretty much connect with whoever we need to connect with on our teams. And it's a joy to be able to bless people. So just think of it in terms that, yes, it's going to take some energy, it's going to take some time, but every one of us knows that time and energy would be expended on something anyway. So we may as well do it in this way because it's going to yield you a lot of blessings in years to come. If you are, and I think I know most of you that are on here, if you are a believing person, I think that it is absolutely critical to pray those leaders into your team and pray that God will reveal who it is specifically that you should be pouring into. Because we have lots of choices on people to work with, and sometimes we need a little divine intervention to recognize, you know, who is it this month that I really need to be sowing into, and it can change. I will tell you that. You know, sometimes you need to help bolster a certain leg, and so you may pour deeply into a particular group of people. The next month, it might be something different. You know, it might be a different group of people. So let prayer guide you in that way, so that you can be shown where it is that you really need to be effective. Let's see here. So the next section here, once someone has started sharing on your team and you see a new member pop up. So for those of you that have oily tools, I hope you have your notifications turned on so that you get a message every time someone enrolls their first member. I love those messages. And hopefully that turns a light on in your mind that means you have a new business builder, okay? So every time somebody enrolls their first member, you want to contact your new leader. First of all, congratulate them. Show some excitement because they just did a huge thing, okay? They just broke through a new level that could be an absolutely exponential growth factor for you and for your team. So immediately, we want to let them know what is possible with what they just did. So Sarah recommends to contact your new leader with the 3-page Oil Ability Business Training, which is also in the appendix. Run through that with them. Check in with them, you know, once a week or so just to see how they're doing. We want to do a little bit of early on coaching because remember, the more energy we expend on the early end with a new member and a new leader, holy cow, that will pay off dividends. And I will just tell you, it's way more effective to invest on that end than it is to invest on the about to go inactive end. And I'm not opposed. In fact, I encourage you to contact those that are about to go inactive. But that's kind of like like beating a dead horse in a sense, okay? Don't give up on anybody, but why not pour your energy and your resources into the people that are just joining and make sure that they get off to a great start. Take advantage of that fast start period in the first 3 months, and let's make sure that they get off to a great start in that period of time so that we never get to the part where they are about to go inactive. That would be my preference. We want to give our new business builders, so those people that have just enrolled their first member, for sure, we want to make sure that they have one of these, okay, the little game plan minis, so that they understand the potential of what they're getting into. Start building a relationship, and as their check comes in, you're going to notice that they're going to get more and more excited, and just continue to help cast that vision with them, okay? So let's see, confidence is key. This is a true story. So if you have confidence in what you're building and where you're headed, that will naturally overflow into your team. Most business builders, Sarah says, that I see who aren't raising leaders don't have confidence in themselves. If you truly believe that Young Living is a crazy, incredible income source and you see where it goes, wouldn't you want to share it with everyone around you? The answer is yes, absolutely. But there's that threshold where you have to get over the hump a little bit to be able to see what is possible. And I totally understand that if, when people are just beginning, if their checks are $200 or $300, it doesn't feel like this compelling story that when they walk into Target, they just have to tell everybody about it. You're still sort of like, oh, I don't know, I hope it works out, but I'm not really convinced. I haven't paid off the house. And so it feels tentative. And what I want to say is use my story, you guys, or use Sonia's story until you have a story of your own that you just cannot keep quiet about. Because this is a compelling opportunity. It really is. And people need to know that there are some options. And that's all our job is. It's not to convince anybody that this is the only way, because there's lots of great network marketing companies available. I happen to like the products the best in this one, and I understand that success comes with reordering a consumable product, and there's no better consumable product, in my opinion, than these oils. They're just awesome. So use whoever's story you need to get to that point. But be confident and be bold in how you share, because you really are holding a golden opportunity here. The other thing that I want to mention about raising up leaders that is not in here is, let me grab my, let's see here. This is what I wanted to show you. So some of you are aware that earlier this year, I went through Eric Walton's Downline Leadership course, and I cannot quit talking about this. It was so profound for me and very helpful. I'm still referring back to this. So this is the binder that I put together. It is a 12-week course. Each week has a different topic, and it was all done on Zoom. So it doesn't matter where you live. It's a small group coaching thing. So in our group, there were 5 people and Eric, and he is a John Maxwell certified trainer. And I happen to really, really respect John Maxwell, and I love his books. And Eric just had a way of pulling out great, great stuff out of me and out of everybody. Our group got very close together. In fact, we're planning a downline leadership reunion because we all liked each other so much that I'm quite certain we will be getting together. Eric even invited us to get together at his house in Phoenix, which would be a lot of fun because he said we were his favorite. So anyway, but I'm just here to tell you, I don't know when the time is right for you, and only you can decide that. This was a $400 course, so it's in 2 installments. You pay $200 for the first 6 weeks, and then another $200 payment for the second 6 weeks. He's got it divided up so that the first 6 weeks are all about you and your own stuff, because you got to work through that first. The second 6 weeks is all about your team and how to lead and how to energize and communication and that kind of stuff. It was just incredibly helpful. So I just want to throw that out there as another option. I know that there are 52 million different books you can read and seminars you can attend. And I do not want you to fall victim to jumping from one thing to another, because A, it's expensive. B, it confuses your brain when you just jump from one to another and you never really implement it. But if you're at a point where you're like, okay, I want to commit, X number of weeks or whatever to this. I don't know when Eric is starting the next one. So if you want information about it, when we're done, send me a PM and I'll send you his information, and then you guys can talk. I just felt like it was really, really helpful, and it went along nicely with where I'm trying to guide new leaders. And if this is the right time for you, jump into that with both feet, because I think that you would absolutely love it. All right, so the next thing, I just want to make sure in the workbook, Sarah talks about finding and raising leaders. And basically, I love, she just has this little visual to go into your virtual office and look for everybody that has the plus sign, which means they've got someone in their downline, and anybody who has someone enrolled under them is a leader. Okay, so when you enroll one person, you become a leader. So our job as the leader above them is to make sure that they've been properly equipped, that they've got the knowledge and the information that they need to be successful. Okay, chapter 22, how to pray over your business. This is a very personal matter for everybody, but I think it is so, so important to know that God cares about your success. He cares about you, and He cares about your team. And most importantly, each individual that is part of this business, He sees them. And so I think it's really critical to have prayer be a regular integral part of our business in some capacity, okay? And how you carry that out is entirely up to you. But I think that gratitude is a huge component. Wherever you are in life and in business, start with gratitude. Because when your heart and your mind are in that space that I'm grateful for whatever I have right now, even if it's a little bit, I'm grateful for that. God is happy to add to that. But if you're coming from a place of scarcity and you never have enough and you always want more and whatever, it's hard for Him to bless that. Does that make sense? So I just, however it looks for you, if it's a prayer journal, if it's a group of trusted friends that can be your accountability partners, that maybe you maybe you call each other and do a group phone call or a Zoom or whatever every Monday morning, and you just pray over each other's lives and families and businesses. I don't know how that might look, but I definitely encourage you to make that an intentional part of your business building strategy. So ask for blessings on your goals and direction. That's always one of our greatest prayers when Brian and I are praying for our family and for our business. It's not that we'll hit what we've set, it's that God will give us guidance and direction to go where we're supposed to go. Because I don't know, what that might look like. Maybe we're limiting his ability, and maybe he wants us somewhere greater than what we can even imagine. So let's not put a cap on the potential blessings that could be coming our way. So I will let you guys read that, but just let prayer, infiltrate every part of your business. By the way, Monique McLean's 21 Days of Prayer. How many of you have done that one? Okay, that's, I don't know if I've got that book. Oh, I've got it here somewhere. Maybe not within reach at the moment, but it's a very good book. I do highly recommend it because after you go through those 21 days, you've pretty much dug through and uncovered all the possible stuff that you could uncover in your life and in your business and handed that over. And it's pretty awesome. So chapter 23 is all about avoiding distractions. Okay. We have all got distractions. We could talk about this all day long. And so it's not if there are distractions, because we certainly know that there are, but it's more importantly how we're going to address that and how we're going to handle them. Okay? So, pitfalls to watch out for. Let's start with that, because these are things that can be detrimental to your growth and to your business. And I do not want you to fall victim to any of this if we can avoid it. So, number one, spending more than you make. Okay? Yeah. We cringe. Here's the deal. I truly want everybody to know how to build this business and stay in the black, because I do believe that it is possible. Now, I'm also going to say this. Some of us came into the business more financially established than others. And because of that, we were able to do some things that some people may not be able to. And that's totally fine, but we have to think about it in terms of duplication. So if I'm a brand new member, fresh out of the gate, and an opportunity comes to me to be a vendor at a vendor show where the fee is $2,000 for a vendor booth, and I jump at it because, Young Living isn't my only income. Maybe my husband had a great job too. And so we've got some financial backing. That's okay for me, perhaps, but what message does that send to a brand new member if they see me doing that and then they're thinking, oh man, the only way I can be successful is if I spend a bucket load of money, and I can't do that. I simply don't have it. So that's why I just want to be careful to say, you need to know how to train new members to start this business and stay in the black. There's umpteen gazillion things we can spend money on, but you do not have to. So teach them how to do a class on the cheap and start enrolling people. And then what would be the top 3 things, in your opinion, that you would have people invest in? I want to have people get a desk reference. Okay, that's critical early on, but I don't want them to buy it before they can afford it. So the starter kit comes first, the desk reference comes next, and hopefully we can just keep building. Every time they enroll people, they are starting to get, a little check back, which we want them to buy their oils with, and then hopefully that check will grow, and we just teach them how to prioritize. What do you want to get next? What do you want to get next? And you don't put the cart before the horse. So things like websites and business cards and custom logos and new offices and all of that stuff, they're great once you can afford them, but they are not essential when you first begin, okay? People always want to know, where do you get your business cards? Oh my gosh, get them at the cheapest place possible, because business cards are like toilet paper to me. You just hand those suckers out, and that's probably not where you're going to get the most business if you're a normal business owner, but it does make you look legitimate. And so there's that balance, but that is no way the first thing I would ever recommend people spend $50 on. I would rather that they start doing some classes and get that income rolling in, okay? So second thing, wanting education up front as a distraction. So for people that are educationally minded, we love to have degrees and we love to have certifications and all of that kind of stuff. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, except if you want to put all of that in front of starting your classes and starting to enroll people for your business. So let that be a little reward that comes maybe after you hit silver. Well, maybe I'll go get the raindrop certification, or I'll go get the aroma therapy certification or whatever later. But if you do it first, that's what your team is going to duplicate. So I know Sarah talks in here about the fact that she has lots of letters that she could put behind her name, but she doesn't always advertise that because that's not real duplicable, okay? So that can be another distraction. The third thing, getting involved in more than one network marketing company. Oh my goodness. This one is huge for lots and lots of people. The grass always looks greener on the other side, and it always looks like there's some hot new thing starting. I can tell you that in the last 4 years, while I have been nose to the grindstone with Young Living, I have seen so many trends come and go. Do you remember a couple of years ago when all the rage was Jamberry nails? Everybody was jumping ship to sell nails or stickers for nails or whatever it was. I never bought one of them. Okay, so that trend came and went. And then we've had lip scents that came and went. Okay, we've had leggings of every color, shape, and size. And people are finding out, oh my gosh, that inventory is quite expensive to carry. And all of these trends come and go. And you know what? People still love their Young Living. This is like the most rock solid, steady business on the planet because we still all want to feel good. So, what I would say is maintain a positive attitude about your business. I smile and shake my head a lot when people get distracted, and they will, and some will come back and some won't, and that's okay. We stay true to course, and just know that nobody ever succeeded chasing two rabbits, okay? It's an old Chinese proverb, the man who chases two rabbits catches none. When you divide your energy between two separate network marketing companies or direct sales companies or whatever, your friends are super confused because they don't know why or how to support you, or they think this one is just the next passing fad. You'll be on to something later. So we just don't do that. Another distraction, building a storefront. This is a big one that people can fall into. I don't know that we have so many on our team, but the benefit to me of this business is that we can do it from our home, that we don't have to have a brick and mortar building. Now, Sarah talks about the fact that, having a store can be a liability. That's absolutely true. We eliminate so much risk because we don't have to keep an inventory. So to me, that's one of the big selling points here. It's very easy. You guys know that we cannot make our own homemade stuff and label it and say that it's Young Living's oils and resell that. I think everybody on this team is clear about that. You can certainly make your own things. You can gift it. In fact, you can, there's all kinds of creative ways that you can share DIY things. I would just suggest don't waste your energy in marketing that kind of stuff, because that's not where the true income lies, okay? Distraction number 5, getting on Facebook and losing your life. Wasting time scrolling. Facebook is a business tool. There is no doubt about it. But if it spirals into watching videos about cats, you've gone too far, okay? They are not good prospects. So it's just super easy for all of us to do, because that's where the social stuff happens. I will tell you that the effective way to use it, as you're, scrolling through people's feeds and you see a cry for help, send them a PM. Warm up the relationship. If you haven't talked to them for a while, don't immediately jump on them like, oh, hey, I can help you with that XYZ issue. But start warming up the relationship. Make sure that people know what you do, but don't use Facebook as a billboard daily to advertise your link. I think that's kind of tacky. We're living a lifestyle. So showcase that you have time freedom, that you have freedom because you're not sick. What is it that you can do? Can you go for a walk and, take a beautiful picture outside, modeling that, yeah, I am enjoying a Young Living lifestyle and it feels really good. Number 6, not setting regular business hours for yourself can be a distraction. It sure can be, and I am not the one to model this right now. I am and have been working on this for a long time. I will say this year is better than any so far, but I still feel like I am refining it. So for those of you that have that figured out, rock on and share your wisdom. I think the best thing that I have found, I know it's something that Amy has shared with me in the past, is time blocking. So not so specifically, maybe down to the minute what I'm doing, but to say Monday mornings are for this group of tasks, okay? Thursdays are for church work for me. Wednesday mornings are for scheduling social media posts. I'll tell you, one of the biggest lifesavers, you guys, if you want to recoup some of your time, is to get on Hootsuite or Cinch Share. I can't even say that word. Either one of those websites, check them out. What it will do is it will buy you back a whole bunch of time. So that means you can spend maybe 2 hours or an hour, whatever, and you can come up with a whole bunch of posts at one time when you're in the zone, and you can go in and schedule them, and then you can go about your life, and every, Tuesday morning or every Monday afternoon or whatever you want to do for scheduling, those posts that you created will magically appear either on your team page or on your personal page. And it's literally like magic because you've sat down and dedicated an hour or two at one time. You could schedule them out for the whole month. If you wanted to do product posts, just open up the product guide or the desk reference and just schedule a whole bunch of them. Make sure you have photos with them because photos get lots more attention. But you can just do a whole bunch of those. Or if you want to do inspirational posts or post about, nature or faith or whatever your thing is, you can get all that laid out. And then you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, it's Wednesday. What am I going to put up today? Because you've already thought that through. Okay. Number 7, training other teams. This is it's an important thing to be aware of. I don't know that we suffer from this too badly in our group, but be aware of this, that we love cross-line support and relationships a lot. And I am a big believer in it. When it can spiral out of control would be if you were spending 60% of your time helping another group that is not yours. That would not be a good use of your time. I don't think I even need to expand on that for you guys because I think that you fully understand that. I do a lot of cross-line support, but I would not, drive to other states on a regular basis just to teach someone else's team. I think that's kind of just common sense there. So if you have a cross-line buddy that asks you if you would teach a class with them or for them, here's what I would suggest. As long as you make sure you've got prospects there and you can make it your own, beneficial endeavor, go for it because it's fun to be able to collaborate that way. But you've got to be responsible to make it productive for yourself. Otherwise, it's probably not a good idea. Okay, and the last distraction is leadership training. This is kind of what we talked about earlier, that there's so many different options that we can take advantage of. And believe me, they're all awesome, you guys. But until you are ready to apply it, you can be that sponge that takes it in all day long. But until you're ready to apply, don't spend any more money on other stuff. Bye, Nita. Thank you for coming. It's okay. It's all recorded, so you can come back. We're almost done. So I know I'm going overtime just a wee bit here today. And actually, this is the end of chapter 23. So I would say on the personal development part, the leadership training, if you commit a few minutes each day to personal development in whatever way. So I had a YouTube video on this morning while I was taking a shower that I was listening to, and it sparked a lot of really good ideas in me. So just know that if you can invest 15, 20, 30 minutes a day filling your own tank, that will give you a reserve that you can then pour out onto your team and you can bless others with. Car time, walking time, treadmill time, that's all always a mobile classroom for me, always. I like to have that stuff, I consider it the equivalent of my immune support oils. When I put in that good personal development stuff into me, it makes me resistant against the negativity that the world might try to throw my direction. And I simply can just let it bounce off because I know my tank is full and it doesn't matter if I get a no because I know where I'm headed. So that to me is the best training for that. So lots of good stuff. If you have not had an opportunity to fill out the workbook for chapter 23, I would definitely encourage you to do that because there's some good self-assessment questions in there about what distractions do you wrestle with? What part of growth and personal development are you focusing on? And just how you can hold yourself accountable. Okay? So that wraps up our chapters for today. Next week, we will finish up with chapters 24 and 25. That's the last one. Make sure that you have gone through all of the appendixes, because that's where a lot of the gold really is. All the cheat sheets and the worksheets and that kind of thing, they are golden, but they're only as gold as they are applied. So make sure that you're working through those ideas, especially like the leader launch training and that stuff, with your prospective leaders and your current leaders. So very good. Thank you for joining. We'll be here again next Monday. And hopefully we'll see several of you on Thursday Night Live this week. So take care, everybody. We'll see you later.